Recently, I've noticed that there is one little thing that's probably causing you to lose a ton of DPS as Havoc Demon Hunter, and even as other specs and classes. So in today's video, we're going to go over that. You're probably wondering what I'm talking about. And before we get into that, hi everyone, I'm Voodoo. You might not know me, I'm a Havoc Demon Hunter content creator. I do some stuff on other classes as well. So before you watch the video, go down, like the video. It's the best and most free way to support me, help me grow the channel, help me spread the content to other people. And if you really enjoy it, hit the subscribe button. Now, what am I talking about this one trick, yada, yada, yada. Now that's gonna be cooldown management. And you're probably like, oh, well, I already know how to do that. I already know what you're talking about. But I think you should watch this video anyways. It's pretty quick and it's gonna be a pretty big thing. So as a Havoc Demon Hunter, what are our cooldowns? Well, we actually have a ton. So Havoc Demon Hunter's cooldowns basically fall into three categories. You have your big cooldown, you have Metamorphosis. You have kind of like your mid-range cooldowns, like the Hunt, like Essence Break, like I-Beam, and like Vengeful Retreat. And you have your short cooldowns. Vengeful Retreat can kind of fall into there. Glaive Tempest, Blade Dance, Immolation Aura, stuff like that. And basically the thing that I've noticed a lot, even personally watching my own gameplay back, I fall for this sometimes, or doing some VOD reviews for others like I've been doing recently, is that oftentimes these things get little desyncs every now and then, which over the course of like a 5, 6, 7 minute boss fight, or even a 40-minute, 30-minute dungeon, will end up causing you to lose uses. And I think that's a pretty big thing, honestly. If you lose uses of your cooldowns, then you're going to have a pretty bad time in terms of dealing damage. So what am I talking about exactly? So here today, I'm in the Shattered Destiny build, which honestly is one of the big culprits to this problem. The other build does feature it as well, but basically the big one is going to be Essence Break, I-Beam, and Vengeful Retreat. So everyone knows by now the Essence Break combo. If you don't, it basically revolves around you going into I-Beam, and flipping around Essence Break as you fly through, Death Sweep, Annihilation, 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 and then you should be able to get 2 Death Sweeps in one window with this build. So that's the basic thing. But now we have a bit of an issue. You can see here 28 seconds, 6 seconds, and 16 seconds. Now this is a bit exasperated because of Cycle of Hatred, but effectively what happens often, like let's say here, right? My Vengeful Retreat's up, oh, I noticed, I use it, and now it's going to be up 4-5 seconds after my Essence Break. Same with my I-Beam here. I'm using my I-Beam, and this will be up after my Essence Break as well. So what ends up happening is through the course of normal gameplay, these small, minute decisions end up causing you to miss out on some of your damage. So I'm just holding Essence Break here. It's been up for a little bit. I'm holding I-Beam here. Now this one happens with this build, but you see here, now they're all back, but we're 56 seconds into combat. This is a 40-second cooldown. So I ended up having to hold it for a while just to wait for my other things to come up. And it begs the question, it's like, if you're not noticing what's happening, and you end up holding this, you're going to end up losing damage from it. I think it's a pretty big deal. I'll have some video footage later just showing myself doing it. But the same is true for basically all your other buttons. Death Sweep's another big one. Glaive Tempest is another big one. These are things you want to just be slamming on cooldown and not holding. So you see there, these are now synced up. Now, I-Beam I'm going to spend because I have Cycle of Hatred, so you want to end up spending it and saving for these things to come back. But you can see that these two are now synced. And when they're synced up, it's going to be a lot better for me. I don't have to actually end up waiting for anything. Now, obviously, Cycle of Hatred makes I-Beam a little bit weird. But if we go over and we swap to a non-Cycle of Hatred build, let's just do Spread Eagle, for instance, you'll see that these issues are still going to persist and going to be a little bit different, honestly. So we're back again. I have all my cooldowns. It's going to be a little bit different now because I-Beam and Essence Break are going to sync up perfectly. Now, meta is going to do a little bit of a different thing in here. So this will do a little meta thing. So we'll come in, we'll Hunt, we'll Glaive Tempest, we'll use our I-Beam, use our Chaos Strike thing, Death Sweep, meta, Death Sweep, Chaos Strike, I-Beam. So now we end up having our cooldowns desynced again. We have 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and 35 seconds. And this is a bit more of a big deal. So basically you're going to have to end up holding your I-Beam, but again, you're in meta, so it doesn't matter. But you see here, off cooldown, boom. You want to just be spending everything as it happens. Oftentimes, by holding them, you end up missing casts, and it's going to be really bad for you over the course of a long fight. This is definitely something I see people like not doing a lot. They just don't think about it. They end up holding all their things, or they delay things a little bit, and it definitely causes you to lose a lot of damage towards the end of things. So we can see here we have to end up holding for 4 seconds. That's fine because, you know, we get a little bit of a desync. But now we go into this again. I-Beam, Backflip, Essence Break, Death Sweep, this and this. And now we can see here that we're pretty good There shouldn't be any desyncs from this point on because of we don't have Cycle of Hatred. But you can see it's pretty important to have just slam your backflip on cooldown. If you end up holding a little bit, you'll end up desyncing yourself like in the beginning. It's going to end up being pretty bad for you in terms of damage. Now, often, of course, that does require you having to have a really high awareness of what's going on around you, which definitely is difficult. Definitely can be difficult. But in general, this is definitely going to be one of those things that you want to keep track of. If you end up delaying these CDs in raid, in anything, it's going to be a pretty rough time. Now, I'll have some video examples of myself doing this just from VODs and stuff. So we're going to swap over to that now. But this is a big thing that lots of people don't think of, right? You got to manage those short cooldowns. You want to be using them as often as possible, not delaying them. Now, I will say there is one small caveat. If you have Cycle of Hatred in general, and there is 8 seconds left on Essence Break, then you do want to end up holding your I-Beam. So in a scenario where I have Cycle of Hatred, my I-Beam's coming back, and it's back up, and there's 7 seconds on Essence Break, I'll just hold I-Beam. Don't send that there. But otherwise, you want to be setting these on cooldown and not missing uses. That's the very important thing. And this can be applied to any classes, really, with shorter cooldowns or cooldowns like that. Shadow Priest with Shadow Crass, you don't want to be saving that. Augie Evoker with Ebb and Might and your Fire Breath and stuff like that. Fire Mage with your Mini Combust. All those things, you don't want to be saving them unless, you know, there's a reason to do that. You want to be setting them on cooldown and not messing up that little bit of a cooldown rotation that you have going on. So we're going to hop over to some YouTube VODs now, and I'll show you guys a bit of a real-world example, and then we'll end off the vid. Alright, so I found footage of it. Now, this actually isn't me. I was looking through all my Soundcloud VODs and I couldn't find examples of me doing it, so I just went with one of my VOD reviews. Shout out to James, one of my channel members, for giving this video a little bit ago. I'm just going to use it briefly. So if we notice here, we have a little bit of a desync between Essence Break and Vengeful Retreat. It's a little bit, it's not too big of a deal. However, Vengeful Retreat's going to come up, and we see that he doesn't use it here. Now, that's not too big of a deal, but now the desync is actually even bigger. So what's going to end up happening here is when in about 10 seconds, we'll skip ahead. Oh, I skipped too far ahead. In about 10 seconds here, whenever this Essence Break comes off CD, he's going to end up having to wait like 3 seconds, 2 seconds to get that Vengeful Retreat with it. You see here, we have Essence Break. Now he gets a mechanic, so it's fine. But that desync there, should he not have gotten this mechanic, would have caused him to lose out on some DPS. Now he flips back in and it's fine. Skip ahead a bit. You can see that there is a bit of a desync here again. Now, it's only by 1 second, so one's not as bad, but you guys get the general idea of what I'm talking about. If you end up holding your CDs like Death Sweep, I-Beam, Essence Break, or Vengeful Retreat, even for like a second or two, over time, there's going to be a bit of a compounding effect, right? Where at the end of the fight, you're going to end up having a lot of downtime because you don't have those GCDs. So see there, he had to end up waiting a second or two to get his Essence Break. That is some lost damage. So it's very important for people to just hammer that home to not end up saving their things. There too, he ended up holding up on Death Sweep a little bit, which caused him to lose some GCDs in meta. So there's definitely some issues with holding on to your CDs like that. I'm going to pause the video. Appreciate you, James. Thank you. Shout out. Appreciate you letting me use the video. So there's certainly some problems in doing that. But in general, keeping that as minimal as possible is going to be how you get the most damage. So we'll log back in. But that's kind of what I want to talk about today. It's that little bit desyncing of cooldowns. Havoc's cooldowns, Essence Break, Death Sweep, VR, and I-Beam having such small and weird CDs definitely causes a lot of this desyncing issue. Not to mention that you end up resetting it with meta, so I-Beam is even further desynced. But getting that under wraps, getting that under control, and not end up wasting those seconds, those precious seconds of cooldown timing to get that knock-on effect later in the fight is very important. So, you know, it's weird. This is 40, this is 40, this is 20. This used to be 30, which was worse. But it's very important that you end up using those basically on CD as much as you possibly can, unless you're saving them for a bigger damage window or something like that. And again, you know, Cycle of Hatred makes things a little bit weird, but generally with Cycle of Hatred, if you have 8 seconds or less on Essence Break, hold your I-Beam. Otherwise, just rip them, get them on cooldown. Very important to see you doing that. So that's going to be it for the video today. Appreciate you all for clicking and watching. If you want to help support me, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, there's a link in the description to become a channel member. Channel members get access to exclusive videos every now and then. They get access to emotes. They get to help me out. They get an exclusive part on my Discord, and they get access to VOD review and a ton of other cool perks. So if you want to help me make better videos, help support me just in general, buying food, paying rent, stuff like that, then follow the link down below. Otherwise, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I'll be live tomorrow with Sark Prog, maybe tonight with some keys, not sure, but I appreciate you all. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Monday, and peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members who help support me and make videos like this possible. Thank you to 121, Payne, Joshua O'Connell, Brad Wisniak, Zulgan, James, Evandro Faraz, It's Bulk, Flattech67, and Angelo. A big shout out to all of you. You guys are such a big help to supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel and help me make bigger and better videos, then become a channel member with the link below. There's a little link in the description. You get to become a channel member. You get a ton of cool perks, including some emotes to use in live chats and comments. You get a shout out at the end of my videos. You get access to an exclusive part of the Discord, the Voodoo Discord server, and also access to things such as VOD and log review. So again, big thank you to all you people. Could not be doing this without you guys. Big shout out, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching the video. Peace.